Hey, how's it going, everyone? Let's go racing. I'm Zach Peters. Thank you so much for watching on YouTube or listening on whatever podcast platform that you so desire. I do appreciate your support. Let's get into some news before we get into Dover. Fast news, Legacy Motorsports is moving from Chevy to Toyota. I think that's a good move. I think that it had to be tough for Jimmy, a lifelong Chevy guy, to make that choice. But maybe it wasn't so tough. You know, he spent some time in Honda in the IndyCar series, so he's got experience outside of Chevy. But Toyota gives them more attention and resources that they weren't getting on the Chevy totem pole of NASCAR. I saw a couple of people complaining, like, you know, it's a shame that the Kings team, well, it's not the Kings team anymore, and it hasn't been for quite some time. And, you know, and not to mention that the King drove for 1,000 different groups besides Chevy. So, yeah, good for them, I suppose. My original bracket for the bracket challenge was terrible. Thanks, Ross. Thank you, Bad Tires. Thankfully, Dirty Mo is doing their own starting in Kansas, and so maybe I can get some redemption there. I already posted a video of me doing theirs, so you can watch that or listen to the podcast. I do suggest watching it. It's just a better product if you're watching that. Now to the race. Dover was a good race. It wasn't spectacular, wasn't the best race I've ever had, but for Dover, it had enough moments in there to make it fun to watch really at every stage. First of all, we had the drama of the race track itself. The rain, the cold, the delayed race. The practice, we saw the tires were going to, you know, they weren't doing great things. And as it turns out, most of the tires were fine, unless you're talking to Harvick or Logano. But we had the excitement of, what are these tires going to do? We had Chastain early in the race wrecking Poole into Larson. Gosh. I don't dislike Chastain like I used to sort of dislike Busch, right? Because Busch sort of arrogant, Chastain sort of aloof. Even if it seems slightly fake that he's apologetic, he is apologetic. But Chastain is just so annoying when he does these things. And then again, it doesn't help that he wrecked my guy. But it's just so frustrating. And it's frustrating that he gets away with it. It's frustrating that he never gets tangled up in the messes that he creates, which a lot of times happens. You know, you drive recklessly, you also get caught up in it. He's been able to avoid that. Probably a testament to how skilled of a driver he can be. I want to make something clear. He is not Earnhardt. Earnhardt was not wrecking lap down traffic going into a corner. He would move people out of the way for sure. He did wreck people, but there was always a reason for it. So yeah, Chastain's not Earnhardt, not even close. He is good for the sport. He is aggressive for sure, but to compare him to Earnhardt, Chastain's just a little bit reckless, as opposed to Earnhardt, who was very purposeful in how he did things when he did them. We had pit road issues for Hamlin. Hamlin had a strong car early, and it seemed like he sort of shot himself in the foot with track position there a couple of times. Now, granted, I don't know, they didn't really adjust to the track. He sort of disappeared. Disappeared is the wrong word. He finished in the top 10. Same with Byron. But both of them, their cars sort of did not adjust to the track, which leads us to the fact that the track was in shade, out of shade, in shade, out of shade. And that was pretty fun to watch the teams deal with that and adjust and go back and forth. Larson provided us with some passive payback. I wish he would have done more, but that's not necessarily his style. Someone just needs to wreck Chastain, basically, if he causes. I wish Harvick would, or Logano. They don't care. Maybe once Harvick gets a win, if he gets around him and races him in a way he doesn't like, he'll take care of that problem for us. And then we had the Truex sweep of the weekend, but non-traditional sweep. Truex's brother won the Xfinity race, and Truex won the other race, which broke like a 50-something race winless streak for him, and that's pretty special. I hope he doesn't retire. Obviously, that's slightly selfish if he wants to retire, but Hope he has fun, wins some races this year, and decides to keep it going while he can. I'm sure he makes fine money, but it would be just nice to keep him around, especially with Harvick going at the end of this year. So that was Dover. It's a good race. Lots of moments sprinkled throughout. And I'm looking forward to Kansas and following along with the bracket. But thank you for watching, listening, and I'll see you next time. See ya.